Okay, so this is a tour of the results and timing system for SkioChamps as it currently stands. This is the equipment that's going to go in the yurt for results display and registration. So there's 4 monitors up here that are connected to a single computer down there. This is going to run the results display software. We'll have all the classes on each one of these monitors. This computer equipment is then connected back to the main network via that radio. So that radio is going to be pointed at the timing hut from the yurt. Then this laptop is going to be on the desk at registration. So if we have changes to make or day of entries, I can come over here and say I want to enter, this card here. I can assign them a bib number, give them a start time. I'm going to call it 6:35. It's only 6:30 now. Let's call it 6:34. Then we put in their SI number. And this is where people should be changing their 7003103. This is how people should be changing their SI numbers. They shouldn't be showing up at the start. If they show up at the start with the wrong SI number, it's going to break things. So this person is going to be Alex Jaspe. And she's going to be male today, and she's going to race M21 for NIAC, because that's what's in the computer. So we've now entered the person. They're all registered now with a start time in 3 minutes. So the start crew is radioed back over to the main timing hut saying, hey, we just made some changes to the start list. Can you update the start clock? And because OE is stupid and doesn't... So Alex just showed up on the start list here. That gets exported, and that has to be done manually periodically when the start list changes. And now that means that they are going to show up here on the start clock at 18:34. So this is the start clock. This is all the gear that goes to the start. There's a case there. There's a clock. The person should clear their SI stick. Got to clear. We have a box here as the identify box. There's also at the start the start wand. And this is the case of equipment that has an Ethernet switch in it, and the computer that runs the start clock and all the connections for that, and the cable snake that comes from the finish, which is that huge pile there, goes up to the finish there, comes over and just plugs into these connectors here with the twist lock, power, DB25 data, and Ethernet. So back to the start screen. We still have 1:15 till my start time was 18:34. This is set for 30-second starts. There's nobody starting, so there's nobody in the start list actually, except for this one person. For the next start, the person now, this is showing starts for 18:33. So it's going to be another 30 seconds. So let's go over the setup for the start a little bit. So this case here is a rack mount case that has end panels on it that mount on the ends of it. So all of the cables for the speaker, the monitor, there's actually a keyboard and mouse just in case they're needed for the computer that plug into those USB ports there. Those are all going to get packed into the end of the case and go at the case. So now it's our start time, and our name showed up on the start clock for the next start, which is saying next start is 18:34 for Alex Jaspe. At -15 seconds here, we get a beep. That's when we get our map. We just ID'd ourselves to the computer, so now the computer knows who we are, and we're standing in front of the start gate now, so we have the start gate here. We trip the start gate at our start time. The starter then resets the start gate. So you're now out on the course, right? So let's go over and look at the computer here. The timer just got that's actually an error. So the timer got an entry there on the screen for that start time with that chip. But because I changed the start and hadn't refreshed the data, it didn't know who that starter was that added them. So we're going to look and say Alex was person number 13. That's supposed to be automatic. And now Alex just went green, and she has a start time in the computer. So I'm out on the course happily now. So let's pretend we're out on the course. This is a bunch of controls running down the course, and then you're going to get to the last control in the course, the pre-warning, that's going to be on a stand. That's connected through these boxes here, we've got ports for 2 different serial ports on there, running off of the battery, connected to that radio. It's also pointing to the timing hut. So when we punch into this one, that data just got sent to the computer over here, which Alex just showed up there on the pre-warning screen. So this screen here is just a list of everybody who's punched that control in order. So it shows up with the bib number and the person. So now they're skiing down the finish straight right now. But me and the timing hut here knows who it is. So then this here is our finish line, which are a pair of photocells. I've made little cardboard hoods for them. If it's raining, that's going to be a problem. Otherwise, it's okay. So we then go across the finish line, and I just swiped across the finish line with my foot there, and that printed out on the timers here. We have the pair of timers in the case here. So that just printed out the finish time onto both of the timers. And here in OE, we just got a slot on the screen here when that time went up. So you can see there's 7 things right there right now. Every time I cross the beam, I get more blips on the screen here. So we knew that 7th one there was Alex, and she was, because this screen here, the pre-warning screen, told us her bib number when she was coming down the finish straight. We type in 13 for that time, and that time now has Alex Jospe assigned to it, so she now has a finish time also. So this is the hardest step here, is having to type in the bib numbers to match them up to the times. That's where, if things go horribly wrong, the GoPro is going to be filming the finish, so we can match all these times up later, but we don't want to do that. So Alex is now finished. She comes over to this computer, and I go to the we want to read chips. This is the read chips part is going to be running on another computer run by Sandy, but I'm showing on laptops right here, so I'm running on this one. So we have the Zebra printer and a download station. And those are actually connected into a USB extender off a hub through 100 feet of cable back to the laptop here. So this would be strung out from the timing hut onto a table. The printer and the download station are going to be on a table outside. So then when Alex comes over, she finishes, she crossed the finish line, we got her finish time assigned. Before she exits the finish corral, you've got to punch the download station, and then Alex just showed up on the screen with both a start and a finish time that came from the start gate and photocell, and we got a printout, which I didn't have all those controls in there, just had the start, finish, and that pre-warning control. And she has a time for that course. So that's the way the whole system works. It's so this is I guess I didn't have a chance to go over this gear here. This is the case here. This is what's going to be in the timing hut. Is going to be the main timing case with its lid that holds the monitor and laptop that go along with it. And those are plugged into this. And then my laptop over there, which is also going to be running OE, which has the that's going to show the pre-warning window on it. So I have on that screen up there, I have the OE screens that are start and finish times coming in. On the laptop screen, I have all the interface software that's connected to that's doing that interface between the timers and OE. And on that laptop, I will have the pre-warning control, and that's going to be exporting the start lists and results lists to the display software. And then this case here has a battery backup unit in it, an Ethernet switch, the primary and backup timers, primary and backup printers. It's got some slots for extra paper up there, the mouse for the computer, and then all the way back here we have banana plugs for our timing channels, and those go out to the photocells that are currently for the finish, and the cables that go through the ridiculously long cable snake to the box at the start.